Good morning, everybody. I want to thank you for hitting that play button today. And I'm going to do something a little bit different that I haven't done on my channel before, and that is, we typically look at everything from the ground level. Many of us like to get up in sky rises and look at get on the top and look out and see the city and to see everything. And so, today I wanted to throw the drone up. So as I take off from my backyard here and, just kind of look at things from a different perspective while I discuss a topic that I think that is on a lot of our minds nowadays. And that is the change that's happening in our society, the change that's happening in our country, the change that's happening around the world. And there's a couple of things I want you to notice as I'm flying around. Is number one, I want you to notice how many cars are in driveways. I want to also point out how few cars you actually see on the road. And why is this important? It's important because this isn't a Sunday morning. No, this is a Monday morning this past Monday or yesterday, Monday morning around 7:45 a.m. And, as we look out over this beautiful sunrise at the start of another day, I don't know about you, but I just love the sunrise because it's, to me, I look at it as a gift. The Lord's given me another day on this earth to be with my family and to enjoy this life that we have. It's very short. The Word of God says that life on this earth is like a vapor. Shoot some water in the air or a spray salt can or something, and you see it, then it's gone. That's how long our life is on this earth compared to eternity. But, something that, is kind of, I've been flying my drone a little bit more here and there and then just kind of looking at things. And, I wanted you to kind of see these communities, usually right now, you see cars everywhere driving, coming out of the driveway, leaving, headed to work, headed to, whatever it is that they may be going to on a Monday morning. And you truly would believe this is a Sunday morning at 6:30 in the morning or 7 in the morning. There's hardly anybody out. The main artery road, which is 51st Street, which you can see off in the distance there, is typically just packed full of cars. And I understand that, companies, a lot of people are working from home if they have employment. But there's a lot of people, we know now that nearly 50% of all able-bodied Americans right now currently do not have employment. The government wants to give one number, but I think we truly believe it's more than that. You got people that are staying in their homes because they're fearful to get out. I believe that this pandemic that we're in is a very real thing. It's killed a lot of people. But I also think in the same sentence, it's been weaponized. And, places have been shut down, but yet other things are left open. It's amazing how your local mom and pop shops and places that sell groceries and different things were closed down, but yet major companies are left open. And as you look here at this apartment complex along this golf course that I play at, usually that's about maybe half that. But again, it's just packed full of cars. Some of them may be working, but I know most of them aren't. A lot of people right now are making $600 bonuses and, they've got unemployment. But those bonuses end at the end of this month. So that's why I think there's a lot that's about to happen in the next 3 weeks. I think the rubber is going to meet the road. People aren't going to have the money. Bills are due. All these homes that you see here, 35% of them are in forbearance. They're not even making the payments on these homes. As we come into this big addition here, this is a million. These houses are $1 million plus. It's a gated community. You'll see big swimming pools. You'll see big lifted trucks and boats and all these other things. And you know what? I'm all for people doing whatever they want to do with their money. But a lot of times, most of these people are highly leveraged. Most of these people don't own these homes. They didn't pay cash for them. They didn't pay cash for the boat, the 2 trucks and the Jeep and, the big swimming pool in the back. All of this is financed. And though they may have a great income, we've learned that your income can be taken away relatively quickly. And that's why, though I believe we live in the best country in the world, I think we're seeing a lot of our freedoms taken away from us. We're losing them. We've been losing them for a while. But more so, I think now that we've got something that's not seen, that is making a real impact, but a lot of times numbers are highly inflated. My wife works with a lady who went down, and her and her husband were going to get tested. And the line was too long, and so they just, they'd fill out the paperwork, hey, we want to get tested. They got in line, it was just too long. He, wasn't feeling great, so they just left. And the next day they get a phone call saying that they tested positive for the health problem. I don't want to say it, because if I say it, then YouTube gets all mad. But they said we didn't even take the test and we were called and told we were positive. So how much of these numbers, how much of this data is so overly inflated? Why? Because if they can inflate this, and again, don't get me wrong, people are dying of this. Young, old, middle-aged. We don't know what their underlying health issues are. We don't, and it's sad. I hate that this is happening, but the big thing that concerns me is being weaponized to the point that it's now taking away freedoms, and now the government gets to say who is open and who isn't. Local governments are being able to say you got to wear a mask, or we're going to fine you, or these different things. And though I think we should want to wear a mask if it does help, but where is it going to end? We don't even hear about anybody dying from the flu. We're told, you can't we're not going to have football seasons in the Ivy League. We're shutting things down. We're doing all this. But yet we've got hundreds of thousands of people, tens of thousands of people that march out on the street and nothing's said about it. You got everyday Americans that, they can't even congregate. They can't even go to church. Churches are being shut down. And all this is happening again. A lot of people say this is the second wave. I don't truly believe this is the second wave. I still think it's the first one. And I think that, there's going to be a bigger, as we get into the fall, as we get into the winter time. And so, yes, they're trying to, curve things and saying, hey, we're doing this, social distancing. Hey, I believe in all that. But I think at the same time, we're being suppressed to the point where I don't know if we're going to be able to come back from this financially. Banks are changing, things are happening, builders are building homes like you can see here. A lot of these homes, there's no one even living in them. They're for sale because they're trying to get it up because it's cheap money right now. They can get low interest rates. They're trying to get people into them. But you know what? The banks know what's coming. The Fed knows what's coming. Just like we're sitting here looking at this from an air view, and we can see so much further than if we were sitting down in front of one of those homes. There's another crisis that's coming financially. There's a reason why the stock market has been inflated. There's a reason why banks are cutting back on how much you can get out of an ATM, how much you can withdraw. I went to the bank this past Friday and wanted to withdraw $20,000 cash, and I asked him if I could get it in hundreds, and the teller looked at me and her mouth just dropped. And she said, sir, I don't think we can do that. We might be able to do half. And I said, half? I said, this is a huge bank. You guys are a well-known bank. You mean you don't have the ability to give me $20,000 cash? And she said, well, let me get a hold of my boss. So she goes and gets her boss. Her boss then calls someone else, and somehow they get it approved, and they bring me out $20,000 as I requested. Can you imagine if 5 people walked in there and wanted that? These banks don't have much cash on hand. Why? Stop and ask yourself why. Why are they limiting how much money you can get out of the out of the ATM, and how little money they have in these banks? Because, see, when you go down and you deposit your money, your bank takes your money and it uses it and it lends it. So if you have $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 sitting in a savings account because you don't want to put it in the stock market right now, what is that bank doing with that money? If you tried to go down and withdraw that money today, you most likely wouldn't be able to get it out. Because they take that money and they use it to finance homes, they use it to finance different things. because, and then right now they're giving you nothing on your money. I mean, the interest rates are so low. I mean, it's nothing. It's pennies on the $1,000 that you have with them. And so when I see that and I hear that, number one, I'm thinking, man, I've been hearing people say, and people are talking about, hey, you need to get your money out of banks. A lot of people only deposit what they need to pay some bills online, different things like that. I'm starting to lean that way myself. Because I think that if you just try to live life with your head in the sand, this thing's going to bite you in the rear. We've seen it in 07, we've seen it in 08 and 09. I think there's a lot of corporate debt that's been sold. Banks are holding it. The federal government's trying to prop this thing up. My friend, when there's a hull, I mean, the Titanic has run into the iceberg. If you ask me, in my opinion, this country has hit the iceberg, financially, socially, economically, and you don't hear from a whole lot of leaders. You hear from the mob. You hear from people that are just spewing hatred and spewing all this type of stuff. I mean, where are the church leaders? Where are the pastors? And a lot of them are locked down. Can't even go to church. Some of them are doing it online, and a lot of them aren't talking about it. But I think that right now is a time that if you're not being prepared, if you're not prepared, you need to be shredding debt in your life. You need to be trying to stock some cash. You need to be trying to stock some things of value. Because we've already seen how drastically things can change. We were the good soldiers. We did what they asked us to do. We stayed home. We didn't go out and do anything socially. We didn't take vacations. And we've watched our economy and everything around us begin to crumble. It's time for us to wake up. It's time for us to see what's happening. The dollar is no longer backed by gold like it was in 1971 when Nixon said, hey, we're not going to do it anymore because too many countries were coming back saying, hey, here's your dollar, we want our gold. Here's your dollar, we want our gold. And we had racked up too much debt. We didn't have enough gold to give everybody, and so we just got off of it. He just cleared it off. He reset our financial system. That our fiat currency, which is backed by bonds that are sold to other people, not by gold. And so, there's some things that are starting to bubble up inside of me that I just want to share on this small platform that I have. Maybe you agree, maybe you don't, and that's okay. But let me know in the comments below. Let everybody know in the comments below. That's what's great about YouTube is you can go down and read the comments. And you can see what other people are facing in their communities and see what's going on. Let us know what's happening in your area. What state are you from? What city are you from? How's the banking system there? How's the traffic going? How are the jobs? Here in Tulsa, there are jobs that are opening, places are opening, but they're opening at half the people that they normally have. You can go to places and there's not a whole lot of people in them. Restaurants. I don't know how they're making it. Some sectors are making good money and others aren't. But I think that we're in for a big eye-opening experience here in about 3 weeks, guys. I think that when these $600 bonuses quit, I think everybody's been bailed out except for the people. The government controls inflation by not allowing the bulk of the money to get to the people. That's why these large corporations have gotten all this money, and you got $1,200 to be quiet. And you've been told, look at what you got. We sent you $1,200, but yet they sent companies billions of dollars to back these companies that aren't making any money, that have massive debt, that should be allowed to just fail. The government's keeping them open. The Fed is keeping them open. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this little bit of a different thing here. If you like this type of video, if you want me to continue doing these, let me know in the comments. Give it a like, and we'll keep using this this type of footage. Maybe I'll do it from. We'll go out to other places and of course throw it up and see different things. Maybe downtown, maybe some other communities, if you guys like this. But again, not to be doom and gloom, but just it's time for us to open our eyes and see what's going on and be prepared. I'll see you on Thursday. I hope you have a blessed rest of your Tuesday.